I will share a link to the recording as well as all the links that I share in the chat after the webinar. It'll either be later today or tomorrow, but look for that in your email. I'll also post it in Tom's group as well. So you will get a recording of this. Also notice at the top of your screen, there is a banner. So banner at the top of your screen. If you're coming in on a mobile device, it's at the bottom of your screen. At any time, you can click that banner, a new tab will open up, and you can sign up to receive a 7-day free trial of Master the Art of Referral Sales. So Tom, I'm going to let you take over. I'm going to mute, turn off my camera. Floor is yours.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Randy, for the kind setup. And thank you all for being here. I don't see you given the presentation mode in this webinar, but in putting this together, I kind of am motivated by the fact that we're right near the end of the year. And that means two things as from my perspective in terms of what I built my life around. Number one is helping people finish the year strong. And number two, getting set up for a fast start in 2025. And that fast start is totally dependent on whether or not you're doing the things here at the end so that you have your referral machine, as I like to refer to it. You have it in gear and working for your benefit. So I teach the principles of people having a systematic and repeatable process for referrals. Today, we're going to get into what it takes to have that systematic and referral process. I'm only going to spend a few minutes on the why and the how, because I'm doing something different today. I've never done this before, as I've told Randy. I'm actually going to show you what you can do today. You'll leave with two tools that I've never shared publicly before. I only shared them with my clients, but I just said, no, we're going to pull out all the stops. If you stay till the end, Randy's going to put the link. One of the links she shares will be a link to download those tools. There's no strings attached other than I love feedback. So being part of Alignable, maybe you could give me some feedback on how those tools worked out for you. We know they work. We know they, and I'll talk more about those. You'll see them when we bring them up here in our session. So what drives me today and what drives my relationships with the people we serve is that we are under the burden of so much noise in our life. We've reached a tipping point. You know what it looks like. As I say often, I'm going to wear out the delete button on my keyboard before any other button just because of all the incoming that hits me every day that I don't want. Dealing with all of this stuff gets in the way of getting to the people who could help me get more business, could help you get referrals. So we want to change. We want to change how you enter the marketplace. One of the consequences of all the noise is the people that you're trying to reach have retreated. They've escaped. They're working to get out of the noise. Symbolically, what I describe it as is people have retreated into their own castles. They have dug a deep moat, filled it with alligators, put a drawbridge up, and they even may have archers up at the top to stop people from bothering them and getting in the way and interfering with how they're going. You have to get in that castle to have an effective sales conversation. The best way to go in is via a referral. We're going to show you what that looks like. Why referrals? Well, referrals, when you build it in the right way, a referral system, you stand out from the crowd. You stand out from all the other noisemakers that are entering into the lives and the offices and online with the people you're trying to reach. When you build a referral system, when you implement a referral system, you're going to find that business comes faster and easier. When you get referred in the very right way, and there is a right way to be referred, not all referrals are equal, but when you get referred in the right way, you're going to find that people are more likely to choose you. The trust that's been passed to you by the referrer is going to be part of your armament that gets that castle to open up to you. people you do business with stay longer when they are referral partners, and when they become new referred clients, they refer other people. Now, there's one other factor that we put at the bottom here, and that is a referred prospect is 400% more likely to turn into a buyer than any other kind of sourced lead. Think about that. You want a lead list, or do you want a referral where the person you're being introduced to wants to meet with you? There are many distinctions, and to get to that referred prospect, it's easy when you follow the system. Now, you hear over and over again that people will do business with those who they know, like, and trust. But I want you to understand here at the beginning that there's a cycle, there's a model that is what we call the trust building model. People develop trust with those who are trustworthy. You become trustworthy by being a giver. We've read books like The Go Giver and Go Givers Sell More, and there's an armful of those kinds of books, and they're all on the same relationship cycle message. When you give and give and give in the right way to the people who know the people you'd like to meet, they may be serving the people you'd like to meet, trust builds, and when you, the giver, they want to reciprocate at a point in time to all the giving that you're doing. That's when it's time to ask. And when you ask in the right way with the right people, that's when you get predictable results. Typically, we look for people to be able to get 6 to 10 new referrals a month when they follow the model represented in the relationship cycle. Now, we're going to get to work together. This is a working session. So I'm going to share with you some tools and the process it takes for you to be ready for not just 2025, but to finish strong here in 2024. The steps are pretty simple. First of all, you have to select a few people that you're going to focus on. Next, you must be in touch with these people in a highly engaged way, meaning in contact with them. Schedule, track daily how you're in touch with them. A very important point I'll show you more on in just a few minutes is you must know what their personal interests are. I'll say right now, if you're going out to talk with people to turn them into referral sources, don't go and talk about your product or the customers you're looking for. Talk about the other person's interests. Contact them weekly. Because I've set this up as a do-it-yourself program today, I've changed a little bit of my model just for you all. And I'm saying contact them weekly, give, and give again, then teach them how to give back by how you ask. Follow up and thank referrers, even if they don't introduce you to someone who turns into a client. There's nothing stronger than thank yous and appreciation. And then refine your A list. We're going to talk about your A list, what's an A list, in just a minute, but I want you to think about 10 people who could introduce you to the people you would like to meet. When you think about them, the way I suggest that you start that process is ask yourself, who today is currently serving the people I'd like to meet with a different service or product than what I bring to the market, what I offer. When you see all these different business types here on the screen, they represent people who share something in common. Usually it's the same ideal target client. Now, this works for people who are in downtown small business storefront locations, as well as for people working internationally and nationally in virtual settings. There's no distinction on geography. It's all about finding the people who serve the common objective target market that you're seeking. When you identify those who are in your sphere of influence and begin that activity of getting in touch with them, watch out, magic is going to happen. Now, I said earlier, you need to focus on personal interests. Please. This means don't talk about your portfolio, your product, the service line. the solar programs that you offer, or whatever it is that you are trying to buy or find clients for. Instead, using my friend Bob, let's assume I was Ted and I want to get Bob into a place where he wants to be a referral partner with me, a referral teammate with me. And I teach a lot on how to turn the Bobs in your life into trusted referral partners. In order for that to start and occur with Bob, I'm not going to talk to Bob about what I'm selling. Instead, I'm going to find out what Bob is all about. And in the course of looking at his Alignable profile, his LinkedIn profile, his social media posts, having coffee with him, going to his office, looking across a Zoom screen, I learn things about Bob and I capture that. For example, Bob's a grad of Duke University, played basketball over the years. He's a fisherman. He lives in the Midwest, and I've learned that his last vacation was to the land of 1,000 lakes, Minnesota. He wanted to catch that trophy muskie. He's a golfer. He and his wife are part of the Breast Cancer Foundation, St. Louis Cardinals fan. All of this information you can find out. You don't need to get it all at the start, but you need to learn to pay attention to what the Bobs on your A list are all about. When you do, those topics, those interests of Bob become your topic of conversation. Now, we're going to get into what we call finding your first referral sources or partners. And I'm going to share with you the most powerful tool I have that I could give you. And you're going to get a copy of this when you stay to the end, and Randy puts the link. You can download it. You don't have to do anything but download. We're not capturing your names or any of those typical lead magnet type things. It's yours. It's a gift. The appreciation exercise. Our goal is to find people who might be referral partners. A-list goal. Remember that term. I use it over and over. Our goal is to find 10 people. What I will say to you that right in front of each one of you is very likely your contact list on a cell phone. Within that contact list, there's probably a few dozen people, maybe more, people who you have served, people who you've had relationships with, been in networking with, in all kinds of settings, who you've let slip away. Those people who are in that contact list, who you believe know the people that you might be introduced to, you're going to implement what we call the appreciation exercise. It's very simple. It's easy. It's a 1-hour exercise at the most. What it calls for you to do is to open up that cell phone, scroll through the contact list, find 10 people who you, sadly, like all of us have, you've let slip through the cracks, that if you stayed in touch, you might be doing business with them or getting referrals from them. And then you're going to send out a very simple reconnect text message to them. What are you going to say? Well, on this page that you'll download, we give you about a dozen different suggested things that you can choose from and personalize. I like to say something like, gee, Bob, I'm sorry I've let our relationship slip away. You're important to me. I look forward to catching up with you and finding out how you're doing. I did that about a month ago with 8 people from a city in which I moved away from a few years back. 7 of those 8 people within a day responded back to me. Because we cared for each other then, there's no reason we shouldn't care today. And I reestablished those relationships. You're going to implement this. And again, as I say, this is a working session where I'm going to give you the blueprint to implement starting today. You're going to use this appreciation exercise today with 10 people and stand back. As I like to say, hide and watch. You're going to see results coming back in. I can share with you that there's an Alignable member, a coach. She implemented this system and then came and posted or implemented the exercise and came and posted into Alignable how in her first week doing this resulted in 3 new clients and over $6,000 in sales unexpectedly. She was pretty happy, and from that start, our relationship has multiplied. There's another sales coach who I've worked with in this same exercise, going and back in touch with people he had previously served. They were his clients that he had let fall away. He deposited over $100,000 in checks from renewals with people who he just had failed to keep in touch with. That's a gift to you, but the goal here in implementing this is to find your first 10 referral partners called your A-list. Moving on, there's another gift for you. I call it finding your 10 VIPs. This is a fast start tool that we use inside of our training of the users of our software, our EngagePro software. It's a downloadable document. And what it takes people through is simply answering the questions to find who would be the 5 or 10 people that they've simply don't have a clear vision of that they would call candidate referral partners. We want you to get past looking at the entire list of people you may know or have in your databases and get focused on a few. If you do this with a few and develop the process, 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're going to start to get new referrals in business. And 2, and more importantly than 1 in many ways, is you're going to start a new habit setting or habit forming set of activities that I'll show you in just a moment. But those activities will drive your sales forward into the new calendar year. I love blueprints. I love step-by-step blueprints. So here's the blueprint for today. I just showed you the 2 tools, the first 10 referrals exercise and the appreciation exercise. And we're now into what your 30-day work schedule will be if you choose to participate in such a way to get results for you in the month of December. Sales results. First of all, is deciding who you're going to be talking with. That's creating the 10-person VIP list that I described earlier. Think of it this way. You're one of those people. You're talking to those people between you and the crowd at the end of the arrow. So if you're looking at this, you're going to find those people in the middle who know the people you'd like to reach, and you're going to turn them into referral partners. The second step on your blueprint is you're going to create a simple spreadsheet. Now, we have a software tool where this is done with you and for you. It's not a spreadsheet, it's more valuable than that. But I'm giving you something you can do now, you can do today. First of all, you want to add 10 people to that spreadsheet. 2, you want to identify 3 things about them that's personal. Friends, family, hobbies, vacations, the food they like, the sports teams they follow, the colleges they went to. It's not hard. You have all those sources to examine, but in about 30 minutes with 10 people, you can find 3 things about each of them. Moving on, now let's go to the action steps. If you've got 10 people that you're building this relationship with, we want to create an accelerated return for you. So in the first week, I want you to send an email to each person. In the second week, I want you to make a check-in call with them by phone. Imagine a phone call. The third week, I want you to make an introduction. I want you to think of who you could introduce to one of those VIPs that you've chosen. And then in the fourth week, I want you to ask them a question. You can do this in person, do it by email, do it in a Zoom meeting, but I want you to ask them this question. Remember this. It would be, Bob, if I happen to meet someone at a networking meeting or Smart Connect or at one of my local networking events, how would I know that they're a great person to introduce to you? Get the perspective of that. How would I know that they're the perfect person that I could introduce to you? What you're doing is training your VIP list that this is how you're there to help them, and that desire to reciprocate will come back to you in that exact same way. It's part of the learning and teaching them how to introduce you and who to introduce you to. Now, each time you do these steps in weeks 1 through 4, I want you to add one piece of information about their personal interests to your dialogue. You can find a lot of this on the web by just putting in a simple search. For example, as you remember, Bob went to Duke University. You can type into the search bar of a browser Duke University basketball and find something of interest that you might make a comment or share a link about when you're in one of your conversations. Hey, I see the Duke University team is getting ready to kick off their exhibition season. Are you going to be able to make the homecoming game this year? Simple, personal, relational. I'll show you a tool that helps you do that in a few minutes, but it's that simple. Track and record your steps. And then at the end of week 4, you are ready to ask. Looking at this in an overall illustration, your VIPs are in your spreadsheet, into the referral machine, as I say figuratively here. You've got all the ways to get in touch with them one-to-one. You've got the tool to make the personal relationship, the appreciation exercise. And each time you talk, you're going to bring something of value. Simple articles, websites, links, making introductions, showing appreciation. When you live a life of appreciating, you're going to find you have a lot more to be appreciative of by how people respond to you. The summary, tying it all together. Stop for shotgunning out into the market, looking for something that will jump on the hook that you have baited. Focus on a few. Use a system rigorously every day and turn it into a habit. Make it about the other person. Don't make it about you. As a giver, you'll get the opportunity to teach them how to give back, because we humans usually, I was going to say always, usually want to reciprocate. Then when the reciprocity button is activated in the people you're doing this with, simply ask for the introductions to the people they believe could help you grow your business, and you'll get those introductions. In 4 weeks, you'll get results and you'll get a new habit form that will drive your success. Once that's going with the first 10, now start adding more people to your VIP list. We ideally look to bring it up to a level of about 20 to 25. But I only brought you the idea of 10 today because I want you to stay focused.